Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we have another opportunity to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Continuing with the teachings of Jordan Peterson, I mentioned the other day that it's important to understand what's the meaning of life. That really means what's the positive meaning of life, because everybody knows what the negative meaning of life is. The tragic aspect of life. Can we have joyful participation in the sorrows of the world? Since nobody denies their own pain, everybody's pain is real, so we start there. But how do you find the positive meaning of life? Well, it's a kind of conscientiousness. The way I try to do it is to reanimate the old stories and not take them literally. I'm not a biblical literalist. I believe that the stories have symbolic and psychological relevance, and they're dense. They're not just something to be brushed aside or forgotten so easily. Sometimes fiction, taken as an abstraction, can tell you truth that nonfiction can't. Or, as someone else once put it, what's the difference between fiction and reality? Well, fiction has to make sense. So we're talking about the primacy of consciousness, that the source of consciousness itself is what gives rise to understanding truth. And that's what gives rise to that which is good. There's a lot of cross-validation for these teachings, but we have to be an explorer. We have to be an information forager. One example is like a lobster who, his shell is very, very thin, and they're really subject to a lot of potential predators. So they dig a hole where they can hide and be safe, but they can't stay in the hole because, they dehydrate. They need food, so at some point they have to go outside of the hole into the world. And, there's things out in the world that could get you. So it's a risk, but if they don't go out in the world, they're going to starve or dehydrate and die. So some risks are worth taking. And so they go out and they check an area, and then they go back to their hole. And we do the same kind of thing. We try to find safe space, and then we go out into the world and we forage and we get what we need, we come back. And then we keep exploring because there's not only potential for a predator out there to do us in, there's also the possibility of finding nourishment and other kinds of life or opportunities. I know that one of the things that's been hard for me is not having people around to touch, to hug, to hold, because being touched and touching is a neural necessity. It's not just an option. It's not optional. It's essential. Not only from when we're young, so that being cared for and handled with love gives you the feeling of the world is trustworthy, the world is available, the world is reliable, and that's going to help you later on, both in helping you to bond to other people as well as to have compassion for other people. And so one of the roles of all teachers, although initially it might be the parent, but it doesn't have to only be the primary caregiver, is to remind you and to encourage you that although there's chaos out there, grapple with it. You're up to the task. You can do it. To give you that confidence to face the dragon or to face whatever it is that's out there that's scary. But to leave your hole, sally forth, as I say, and create. And if you're going to do that, you're certainly going to have what we call the confrontation with your shadow. The darker things inside you, things dimly seen, neglected, not lit up well, but there's potency there. When you confront those things that are darker in you, it gives you a certain kind of strength. If you're too soft-boiled, then you don't have any clout, and then you don't take yourself seriously, and neither do other people. So this is called dopaminergics, energics. There's a neurochemistry within ourselves that both is an analgesic, it helps to dull the pain, but also it allays anxiety when it gives us a sense of forward movement with a positive vibration, that sense of felt rightness, that what we're doing is good, it feels right, and we go forward with that. And that's what I hope that we're all doing on a daily basis. The decisions between what I call the yum and the yuck, and the stuff that's creepy and fearful, makes you contract and pull away from it. Should be easy to recognize what that is. And then the yummy stuff that's sweet and delicious and inviting and seductive. It invites you in to dilate, to take it into your own life experience and incorporate it into yourself. So I hope that we all find those extra circuitries within ourselves and bridge our gifts out to other people. And may you all have that sense of being actively engaged in something that is worthwhile and something that you love to do.